hope.
It takes a minute these days. There we are. Okay, it says we're going live. It says
We are live.
I will not believe it until my existence is validated by others.
I see us.
Oh, I see me all the time. That doesn't mean, how do I know I'm really here? If I can see me, couldn't I just be a little voice inside my own head?
No, I
hear you. A figment of my own imagination?
I hear your voice quite well, and I know it is not a figment of your imagination.
But maybe I'm a figment of your imagination. Maybe you're a figment of my imagination.
If you're a figment of my imagination, I need some serious help.
I've been saying that for years. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Kayla Lords.
John Brownstone.
Of Loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. This is our weekly live stream while we record our podcast, the audio version of which hits all major podcast apps every Friday, as long as our websites are cooperating, which so far they have been. Thanks. We are here about 5 minutes early. Normally I would say, if you're here later, blah, 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 fast forward 5 minutes, but we started later than we intended to, so I'm just warn people who are trying to navigate the idle chit chat that they don't want. It's probably going to be more than 5 minutes of butt rub today, because I need to ease into it. I need to ease into things. I don't like to feel rushed. When I feel rushed, that's when things go wrong.
I know.
Right.
And I kind of scared you when I had that phone call just before recording.
You were like, we're about to sit down and go live. And it was an important phone call.
Yes, it was.
Like, let me return this phone call. And I'm like, we're about to do our job.
If looks could kill, oh my God, the look she gave me.
But my tone was respectful.
Yes, your tone was, but your looks spoke.
My tone was respectful. I'm going to say hi to folks. Yeah, I'm scrolling. Hi, Kylie. Hi, Little Miss. Hi, C. Stevens. Hi, Computer King. Is it Dan Duty? Is it Don Duty? Is it D&D? I will call you whatever you'd like, but please make sure I'm saying your name right.
Just
Hello,
not late.
by
Just
the way.
don't call me late for dinner.
No. Hi, Snilly Snoo. Hi, Susan. Hi, Eva. Hi, JB. Hi, Rara. Hi, Silent Wing. Hi, Tayshu. Hi, Andre. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Marina. Hi, Mr. Spock. I'm scrolling. Hi, Davey. I'm scrolling. Hi, Alexia. I'm scrolling. Hi, Yessie. Hi, Dustin. Hello.
Hi, everyone. Glad to have you here with us.
Hello, go get that Horizon. There was another one who slipped in. Hi, Missy C. I could do this all day. Hi, Mel. Hi, Jerica. I could do this all day. I'm reading names, sorry, and these glasses clearly need to be changed. Hi, 343 Foxden. And thank you.
Thank you.
I think my philosophy is if I'm making myself laugh, hopefully somebody else is joining in.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
It's always good to laugh,
Hi, Melissa. A lot of first-timers here today. Hello.
I think the world could use a lot more laughter.
Yes. I think there are definitely serious things that need to be dealt with, but also we're only going to get through the bad by finding a reason to laugh.
Exactly.
And for moments of joy.
Yep.
Okay, that was my philosophical moment for the day. We're done.
Okay.
And I am so sorry you have COVID.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Hopefully it's a mild case and
Passes quickly,
yes.
So far, knock on wood, we've had one infected person in this house, and somehow the rest of us avoided it. Am I not spending enough time with my child? Am I not getting in his personal space enough? I don't know. Maybe. Hi, Albus. So, I was all set on we might take more than 5 minutes,
and now you got nothing to say, do you? Oh, girl.
Because it's not that I want to use every minute I have. I want to know I have as much time as I want.
I wish I had slapstick. I'd be whacking you right now.
That is for future stuff. We're working on that.
I know we are. I know.
Thank you, Little Miss. I love this shirt, not just because it's purple, because it's super comfy. And the lipstick is called Praline at Elf. So
there you go. So.
Yeah, I don't know how some of us are getting in and not when we're in the same vicinity. I'm not going to question it too closely. Somebody with a medical background probably knows that's fine. I'm grateful for it, but I'm still wait. We're all all four of us in this house are vaxxed and boosted at the same level. Somebody next to me who is definitely over 50 needs to go get his second booster. But other than that, we're all like this. Who could it be? The man who did not wear a fun shirt today, but you're comfy. And I told you that's all that mattered.
I am comfy.
And it's a new shirt, and it looks very nice on you. Blue looks nice on you.
Yeah.
I don't know how it shows up on video, but you have like bright blue eyes, and then he wears blue or green, and they just pop, and I love it. When you wear a turquoise shirt, your eyes look turquoise. Yeah. It's awesome.
Well, it looks good on, I watch it stream as we're doing the stream.
Right.
On my iPad, just to kind of keep up with the chat and make sure there's no technical difficulties.
Right.
But looks good from here.
See, and you have pretty blue eyes, and I have mud brown eyes.
Your eyes are pretty, too.
Well, you're supposed to say that. You love me. I am putting him through it lately, y'all. We'll talk about it in the bonus section.
Yeah,
about
a lot to talk about in the
going
bonus
to
section.
a munch last night, but I had to get ready. And, of course, in that moment, I hated everything I saw in my closet, everything I saw in the mirror. Nothing was right. I could never look the way I wanted to look. All was lost. And I've been doing that a lot lately.
Yes, you have.
And you keep going, but I think you're beautiful. And I'm like, that's fine, but you're also a nice human being who loves me. So your vote doesn't count. Like, I don't know why. That's messed up. Your vote should count more than anybody.
You're right.
It's your opinion that should matter more than a rando's opinion. But yeah, no.
I mean, I even told you when you started talking like that last night, I was
know.
like, you're talking about somebody I care about.
We were somewhere like in public where like non-Kingsters could hear us, and you were like, you are being mean to somebody I like. And I could sense people around us going, what the hell? Look, I wore a cute little dress last night, and the dress is cute and it's comfortable. I wore it because it's comfortable. It meant I could eat what I wanted to eat, and we would not have to worry about waistbands poking anything. But it's one of those that's like a sack, so you have to give it the curves. And I was like, oh, the curves are in the wrong spot right now. That's not where I wanted that curve to come out. But it is objectively a cute dress. So
yes, it is.
Okay.
12:01. Actually, 12:02 now.
It is, and I will say we'll just go ahead and get started. You don't click a button.
I know.
Okay. You're getting ready, and you're making me nervous.
I'm getting it to where the button is there to click.
I always worry for completely new folks who don't know what they've stumbled upon. And this is what they get. I mean, it is like this all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know that I make a good first impression, but I do make an impression. And I'll take it. I'll go with it.
True.
So this
Very
week's
true.
episode is a BDSM Q&A. We took questions from Instagram. Instagram is kind of quiet over there right now. That's probably my fault for not being on Instagram often enough, but whatever. And so the plan is, depending on how long it takes us to get through those questions, we will try to open up live chat here during the stream to questions from y'all. If we do that, at that time, I will tell you how to do that. If you try and ask questions before, nobody's going to be able to answer it, because this chat goes a little too fast and I don't scroll that far back. Mm-hmm. So if you have a question and you're afraid you're going to forget it, write it down somewhere, put a note on your phone, whatever you got to do. Hold on to it until we have the official and we tell you what to do, and then you can, and we'll do what we can. Depending on how long all this takes, we might not get through all the questions that might get asked in a live chat. And don't worry, we have other ways that questions get answered. So we're going to start with what we got, and then we'll go to the live chat. I will say this again, because I meant to hold that until we brought the podcast audience in, and I'm not a professional, and I forgot. Oops. Anyway, so if I haven't scared you off yet, and you're not already annoyed, if you like what you see here, well, we love a thumbs up. If you like it enough to want to come back, please consider subscribing.
And if you subscribe, go ahead and ring that notification bell to get updates and new content.
I'm not going to sing, but ring that bell is that even the lyric? Is it ring that bell? You know this. Ring that bell. It's ring my bell. You can definitely ring my bell. You did a few days ago. It's great.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have to say about all that.
Shocked yourself on that, I think.
I did. So feel free to smush the button, and I'll just repeat myself.
Okay.
Okay. So I think I put down announcements in my notes before we get into everything. Yes.
Okay, before you get into too much,
Please turn the fan on.
I'm
It's
going to
already
turn the
hot.
fan on, so if you hear a hum in the background, that's the fan running to try and
so we
keep us
don't
cool.
melt in. I would normally say the Florida heat, but the entire globe seems to be on fire, at least in the northern hemisphere.
Oh,
So it's
you
not
know
just
what?
us.
I didn't do what I said I was going to do.
Please go do
I'm
that
gonna
because
go do that.
I'll do
You
it.
do your spiel.
Announcements. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing, just because I don't say it often enough, and I know not everybody cares, and it's okay, but I'm just saying it again because that's what we're going to do. JB has a shop, The Kinkery, thekinkery.com. Mostly what he sells are paddles and canes and fun weapons of ass destruction, but I have stickers on there that I want to move to a loving BDSM thing, but I want to sell the stickers I've got, so they are all 50% off, and will be until we sell out of them. Like, that's there. I'm not raising the price. I have no intention of lowering the price, but we want to sell out of them. So link in the places on YouTube. The link to the shop is in the description box, and you can navigate the site and you'll get to the stickers. It'll be great. And then for podcast listeners, a link is in the show notes. And if you are a newsletter subscriber, I will try to remember to put the link in there as well. So we have stickers. We have fun stickers that are like toys and about spanking, of course. There are even some loving BDSM themed stickers. There are planner stickers. All the stickers are for indoor use, ideally for like notebook planner, something that's not going to get wet or be left outside ever, because they are not waterproof. They are not UV resistant. But yeah, they're 50% off. There you go. Now you know. Next, since this is a Q&A episode, and as we've done, the longer we've done this, it has become more and more common that somebody's like, but I had a question and you either didn't get to it or I wasn't there to ask. And I just want to remind folks that there are ways to get your questions answered. The one that you don't have to pay a dime for, just kind of be around for, is usually the third Friday of every month. We do a YouTube live stream. It's our hangout. It's our virtual munch. And this year, we added a Q&A component. So if you can make it to one of those on that particular Friday night, you can ask your questions there. The other way we do it is a Patreon perk. For our patrons, we do a monthly Q&A, and there are ways to get a question asked if you can't be there. And then questions are taken during that live stream. So we try to offer as many opportunities as possible to ask your questions. And so if this episode is not one where a question you might have had could have been asked, there are options. We encourage you. If you don't have money, you don't have to join us on Patreon. You can join us on YouTube if you've got the time. If you want other stuff that we do, like a Discord server and extra content and blah, 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 you can join us on Patreon. Get access that way. Get your questions answered. I also prioritize DMs I get in Patreon when somebody has a question over email, and I don't even check DMs anymore because I can't keep up with it, y'all. So I just don't even look at DMs. But other than FetLife, I'm lying. I do FetLife too. Yeah. What do I do? Where do I answer questions? Do you see why it's a problem? And if your question is ever not answered, most of the time it's not that I'm ignoring you. It's that I probably didn't see it.
You're a bit frazzled today.
I am. I'm caffeinated. I even had lunch.
I kept you up too late last night.
You did. I can't wait to talk about that in the bonus section. You drained my battery, shook me up a little bit, and then this morning went, we're good, right? And I was like, the battery has not recharged yet. But you are here.
Hey,
we're here.
I have already started cooking dinner.
I know it smells so good.
There is a pot of sauce simmering on the stove that will sit there and simmer into happiness by dinner time. And I've already started doing the dishes.
I know, because it's my turn to do dishes. I appreciate that.
So, yeah.
But now we're going to answer questions.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and do rapid fire, but if we can be concise, we'll try. Here we go. Questions. Oh, and all of these are anonymous. I'm not saying anybody's names. Don't worry. This person asked advice. 16 years married with kids, starting this journey. Mutual excitement after years of no sex. Ooh, yeah, I feel you. So any general advice you would give to somebody who's been in a long-term relationship, but everybody's starting this together? Go.
Take it slow. Research. Find if there's a local community in your area. If there is, try to attend workshops. Obviously, watch and listen to podcasts like ours. There's a lot of others out there that will give you different perspectives from us, which is always a good thing. And books. If a local community is not available to you, Amazon carries a lot of books, books that we recommend.
Mm-hmm.
That
So there's a site called bookshop.org.
we have read, and that's the best way to go. And there is a little bit of excitement with something new, and in for a penny, in for a pound. Is that how the saying goes?
I think so, yeah.
Don't overdo it. Take things slow. Enjoy yourselves. Rediscover yourselves. Build that communication, and enjoy yourself.
Mm-hmm. I agree with everything you say.
Mm-hmm.
A couple things I will add. One, in the learning part, because this is a thing you'll be learning about for as long as you want to do it.
Yeah.
Try to find the information that is presented in the way you learn best. So we are definitely readers. We're going to start with books every time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not a reader, but you like to listen, some of those books are audiobooks. So definitely that. There are podcasts, not just us. There are other podcasts, but there are podcasts. There's YouTube videos. There's however you like to learn. They exist. There are online courses. Beducated is a frequent sponsor. They are
Right.
not sponsoring this video, but other places where you can get kink-focused education are places like Kink Academy. There are also just creators out there as you kind of go down that rabbit hole of let me start learning about BDSM. You will come across them. So there's that. The other thing I would say is 16 years of marriage with kids, those things are not going away. The good and the bad of a life of 16 years together is not automatically going away. DS does not automatically fix any underlying issues in a marriage, like communications issues. Also, those kids will still damn well be there, and you're going to have to work around it. Having to work around the non-kink sides of your life to make your kink life work doesn't mean you are failing kink. It is a fact of life. We do have an episode in the way, way, way back archive about transitioning from vanilla to DS. I will do my best to remember to link that in the show notes. So if you want to go back and listen to that and hear our thoughts on that. And the other thing I would say is wherever you're at in your journey of starting, start with something you're both really excited and can't stop thinking about, and it's fun. Like start with the fun stuff, because God knows the hard stuff's gonna be there anyway. So if the first thing you're trying together is not something you're both like really excited to be trying together, it's gonna be that much harder. So don't be afraid to have fun.
And one other thing I'd like to add, and this is a not to do. Do not rely on porn or erotica for information.
Nope. Fantasy only.
It's great fantasy. It reads good. A lot of it is hot. It'll
give you ideas of stuff you might want to try.
Kind of gets the blood boiling. But it is just that it is written in a way to titillate and not to emulate.
Right. Yeah. It's not a how-to guide.
Right.
So please don't use it that way. Okay, next question. And I left this in because I don't know if this person misspoke or if there's a term I'm not familiar with that maybe you are, because Google was no help. Says, can you talk about letters of consideration and what should be included in them? Now, my first thought was collars of consideration.
Right.
And then sort of temporary, when I say temporary for like as long as this part of your relationship is going to last, contracts. But when I tried to look up the idea of letters of consideration, I could not find anything. And so, one, I wanted to see if you had heard of that before. And you look confused.
I do, yeah.
And maybe the live chat can chime in if they've heard of it, and that would be great. But I figured if nothing else, we could talk about collars of consideration and the types of BDSM contracts you might create while under a consideration period.
Collars of consideration collars, those I've heard of. Those that term, that process has been around for years.
Yeah. It is a process that some people go through, in case you're not sure, about not just training a new submissive, it's about developing a new partnership. And this is a new submissive to this person, and both parties are trying to figure out, is this the thing we want? And during that time, somebody might do a collar of consideration so that you are collared, but it's not like a final full-fledged, we're in it for the long haul kind of deal.
Correct. As far as letter of consideration,
I immediately thought of contracts, temporary contracts.
yeah, kind of made someone in Teishu said in the live chat, like a kinky resume, and that's kind of where I went. You know, your kinky CV. Could it be like a negotiation?
Yep. Sheet kind of
sheet.
thing. Yeah.
Thank you. So I mean, in that kind of context, if you're looking at it as a, I lost my words.
I don't have them, so I don't know.
A negotiation sheet that you're using to kind of figure out your kinks, see where you match,
Like a
things
yes,
like
no,
that.
maybe list.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
right.
a BDSM checklist.
Something like that. The collars of consideration. Yes, it's kind of like you meet somebody and you are, I kind of like you. I think, our kinks kind of...
We could go somewhere with this.
We can go somewhere with this, but not ready to make a full-on commitment. Let's, kind of test the waters a little bit.
A little bit of that, yeah.
So there's that little bit of testing. There's a little bit of the, the training per se that kind of goes with that. That's kind of where the consideration collar falls into.
Well, and in the live chat, Love Not Hate said perhaps they mean letters of request to serve and be considered. Love Not Hate has heard of those.
Okay.
And what would you... So then if that's what they mean, and apologize to the person who asked,
right.
if this is a time you can DM me and say, I'll clarify what you meant, and we could talk about it maybe in another episode. But if that's the case, if I as a submissive were writing a letter
right
to potential Dom, named John Brownstone at this point, potential Dom, and was going to write a letter of, okay, I would like to serve you and I'm requesting your consideration.
Right.
That's a new one on me, and it's going to make me want to go do some research because I have never heard of that. But okay, what would I put in it? Now, what would I put in it? My first thought, not knowing how these are quote, typically structured, my first thought is it is a little bit like a resume. I'm not going to just talk about what I can do. It's more of what can I do for you based on what you might want. What I'm going to say this word because it comes straight from like HR speak and corporate speak, and I don't mean it quite the way it's usually used, but sort of a value add.
Okay.
What is it that I am bringing to you that is of benefit to you that is based on what I think you want based on conversations we've had.
Gotcha.
Right? Like, I'm not just going to say I'm a service sub, right? Like, that's fine. Put that in, I would imagine.
But that's very general, too.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, hopefully by the time I'm writing something like this, we've had enough conversations, right? Like, I know parts of your life. And so I'm going to say I'm a service sub who is able to, learn new skills like how to make coffee, or that I'm really good at admin. And guess what? I can keep a schedule for you like nobody's damn business. Now, that kind of stuff in my mind is based on conversations we've had. So
right.
I'm not sure I could write something like that until there's been some in-depth conversations to figure out who we each are together and how our skills, wants, needs, blah, 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 all align, right? Like, I'm a masochist who likes spankings, knowing that you are a sadist who likes impact play, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I were to write something like this, I'm gonna partially be a little bit like somebody said, like a resume, like, here's what I can do that fits with what you've stated you want, my understanding of what you want. I also think if you're writing stuff like that, be vulnerable. This entire relationship of power exchange requires some level of vulnerability.
Sure.
And so I would like to think I would be vulnerable about what I want to get out of it. I would also be very clear of what my needs are and what my wants are. I would be very leery of somebody who saw something like that in any form, whether it was a letter of consideration or it was just a conversation we were having, and somebody went, "You have wants and needs?" Like, yeah, I do. And here are some of what I know them to be. And I think you can provide that if you are willing. That's the kind of thing that comes to mind completely off the cuff. If I had to write a letter for somebody to say, this is why I think we should be together and I'd like you to consider me for your submissive. I do want to research that concept more because something about it, and it's a personal thing, it's rubbing me the wrong way. Like, I have to write you a letter for you to consider me? What are you doing for me to consider you?
You know, several people now have mentioned in the chat that I kind of watch as it goes by, you know, maybe it relates to becoming part of a leather family or part of
that was my thought.
A house.
That was my thought. There's a hierarchy there or something.
Exactly. I mean, there is a hierarchy in those types of things, and you know that very well could possibly be. I do not know enough.
No, I want to go
about leather families. That's something I would like to learn more.
And
about.
I would like to learn more about this concept. But my first thought, my skepticism goes, because I'm the sense I'm getting is it's something that submissives or bottoms are writing. What are the doms and tops doing to put myself in the example? Let me know I should consider them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to research it. I don't have an opinion, but I have a skepticism. And so, but yes, leather families is exactly what I thought. Okay. Next, we were not helpful, but it was fun. Okay. Okay. Here's a fun one. And I really appreciate this person who went, my comment was too big to fit in the box on the question in the ID story. Thank you. You know who you are. If you own a dungeon, what would you do to make it unique other than the purple glitter wallpaper that Caitlin would pick out? First of all, it would not be purple glitter wallpaper. There would be purple paint, and all of the details would have a purple thing. It would not be all purple. But anyway, what would you do to make a dungeon unique? Oh
gosh, I don't know.
I would I don't know that I could make it unique, but I know that I would borrow ideas and concepts and policies from every good community experience I've had. Yeah. Like, what did they do right? I'm going to do that.
The one thing that comes to mind, I would probably build all the furniture myself.
You better damn well build all the furniture. The man who said, "Oh, you see this tool that's going to help me with this thing? Guess what else it's going to help me do? Build a St. Andrew's cross." And I went, "Yeah. How are we going to hide that, camouflage that in the bedroom? Because I would like one. I just don't know if it should just be."
Well, right, I hate to tell you this. This is going to sound funny and a little bit off topic with the question. I apologize, but I had been at a local party recently, and they had a cross in their house, and it was really nice because I was able to look at it up close and
the woodworker and you were like, look at this.
Oh yeah. I was looking at it and really kind of going over it with a fine-tooth comb in a sense, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, if it was me, I would do this, I would change this, I would add this, do these little things. And since then, the little engineering wheels in my mind have been churning.
I'm good with that because I'm the beneficiary of whatever the prototype is.
But since then, I've come across something of how I could take said cross and turn it into a stool when done.
I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Also a spanking bench. Same principle. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if you even remember this. So yes, all the furniture in a dungeon of ours would be made by JB, and there would be a kinkery storefront at the front.
Right.
Of course. Yeah. So do you remember when we still lived in Tampa Bay area and we saw an old a cute Victorian house kind of go up for sale?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I remember that.
Y'all, we daydreamed our own dungeon. The way our dungeon would work at the time, I do not know if we would change our mind. We have not thought about it. We don't have the means. We don't have the resources. Yeah. This was dreaming 5 years ago. We knew that what we thought about was that it would be a kinky bed and breakfast. So it would only be advertised to kinky people. It would not show as open and available for anybody else to rent. There would be a area, we didn't know the structure of the house, but there would be an area that was definitely a dungeon play party space. There would also be rooms that kinksters could, stay, and they could get their own kink on. Of course, there would be, do you need some items that you don't have? Here, we've got a little shop, blah, blah, blah.
Right,
but we also knew in our dreaming that it would be a community space. And so there would be a space, not just for play parties, but for workshops, game nights, munches. Like, what does our local community need when there would be some space in our dreams that would be devoted to things like that.
Right.
And the outside would be a cute little Victorian, and all the neighbors would be like, what are they doing in there? That was our thing. Yeah, that it would be both an open, semi-open space for the education gathering purposes.
Yeah.
And then the play stuff. Yep, that was our dream. We could have done nothing with it. But yeah. Okay. Okay, so this one I have a very short answer to, but I thought maybe you had a different take on it.
Okay,
the question is,
right.
Let me make sure I'm not skipping. Okay. How do you maintain a balance and I think they meant boundary, but I'm not sure. A balance and boundary between romantic relationships and BDSM dynamic? Can I give my answer? It's really short and sweet.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't. For us, they're intertwined and one and the same. I mean, I know other people do, but I don't. Like as we've said many times in the past, our dynamic is woven through every fabric of our part of our relationship.
Much.
There are one or two spots, parenting being the biggest one, where it's not power exchange. I have an equal say, and I will fight for my answer. Thank you very much. We are actually getting more and more on the same page with that. We're both adjusting and stuff like that. But the rest of it, like when you're being romantic with me, you're definitely still a daddy dom. And actually it's better when the dom voice comes out. So for us, from my perspective anyway, this is not two separate parts of who we are and we try to navigate them. It's all mixed in together.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I believe it is, especially over the years, it has meshed more and more over the years. So, yeah, I think that's absolutely, it is a short answer. I mean, it's for us. For us.
Like Rara said in the live chat, she's done platonic DS, it can be done. And I have no doubt about that. Can I tell anybody how to do that? Nah. There's a part of me that has toyed with the idea of what if I had another kink partner. One, I would want them to be my friend, bare minimum.
Yeah.
But could I do it and leave out the romance? Not is it possible, but am I capable of that?
Right.
And I honestly don't know because I've not had the experience of trying to. But I also know for me, just for me, everybody's different, that in order for somebody for me to allow somebody to be close enough to me to be some type of dom or top with me, and they would have to be, okay, this energy that you sense does not, I don't do it one-on-one.
It does not extend beyond this point.
No. It's there, but I use that wisely and understanding my own limits. But so if I had another partner and they were a dom or top with me, because of how I currently relate that level of vulnerability and that level of trust and what being domed and top does to me on a very, physical sexual level, I don't know that I would want to do that. Not that it's not possible, just that the way I think I'm wired, but I've also not been in the position.
Yeah.
Like the person doming me is usually the person fucking me, is usually the person saying they love me, like that wasn't always true in previous relationships, but like that's how that's worked for me. The
more norm now.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, next question. How would I open up the talk about more stylized scenes? So, What do you think? I don't think it's about the scenes themselves. It's about opening up the communication.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I think, it depends if is this in a relationship where you haven't established DS? Is this something brand new? I think that's going to make a big difference how you approach it.
I also think that if you're having scenes that are not quite at the level that you're envisioning or the type that you're envisioning, if you've had enough communication and enough trust built to have those scenes, you've already laid the groundwork to move to a new level. I think it's about just talking about them.
Right.
And it all depends on the relationship you have with the person and their communication style and your communication style. I know with you, when you want to take something to a new level, you start with me at first very casually. I've been thinking, I had this thought, I saw this video, and it's let me just casually tell you about it. No pressure at all. What do you think? And
exactly.
I might have questions. I might be like, let me think about that. Or I might be like, look, we're trying to go to sleep at midnight. This is not the time. Can we talk about this later? Like, I'm given that freedom to just respond naturally. There's no expectation in that initial conversation.
I came across this thing and it kind of intrigued me. What do you think?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think if you, depending on your relationship with the person and how frequent and open and easy communication is, you start with the casual opening of, hey, it's just a thought, right? And give them time to think about it, process it, have an initial reaction. If that initial reaction doesn't shut it down completely, then, at a pace that is right for you, I'm sorry, can I give you more specifics? You start talking about it more and more until they are part of that conversation in the, oh yeah, I was thinking about this, or what about this, or what about that, or oh, I have concerns, here's some questions. And you kind of start getting into those details. But I know there are definitely people who do very well with a very formal style of communication where the only time you're talking about these kink things is at very specific times and under very specific circumstances. And if that works for you, go for it. Add it to your next agenda, right?
Yeah.
For us, what works best is to just constantly have communication open. Doesn't mean we're always talking about our power exchange or we're always talking about kink. It just means that we can be riding in the car to the grocery store and one of us is going to go, I saw a thing online the other day. It was kind of hot. What do you think of this? And that gives us that freedom to explore without a lot of pressure.
Right.
And so if you have that already, just use it. It doesn't have to be this big pronouncement necessarily. If you're not sure if it's within your partner's limits or boundaries, maybe just do a check-in with each other about boundaries and limits before you go, I have this idea, right? And make sure it's even going to be something they would consider. But yeah, I think starting off small with a conversation and keeping your expectations low and treating it like a discovery process instead of I have mapped out this entire conversation, this entire scene, everything I want to have happen. Oh, but now I have to present it to a person who's going to have their own reaction.
Yeah.
I think you've put way too much pressure on yourself when you do that.
And now here's another side to this. Especially when presenting something new to someone, as part of that communication, while it's important to convey your words and say what you want, part of the listening of that is to listen in a non-judgmental way. You don't know what the other person's reaction is going to be. You may tell them, I saw this XYZ and I thought it was really hot and I think it would be cool to try. And the other person could be like, you like what? And part of that is to respond in a non-judgmental way. And sometimes for some people,
podcast listener C pointed at me.
Yeah. For some people, it's a matter of, planting the seed and letting it percolate a little bit, and if you come at the person you're trying to tell what you want in a judgmental way, that shuts them down.
Oh, sure.
That completely shuts it down.
And also somebody mentioned in live chat being pushy. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, can we do it now? Can we do it?
No. No.
I don't like this word, but it's a very useful thing in life, and that is patience. Patience is...
It's a virtue.
I hate it. I fucking hate it. But man, it works, okay? If you can embrace it a little bit, it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also think it's the reminder that just because you might have a vision in your head of the scene that you'd like to get to, and you need to be aware you might have to start several steps ahead of that and start really small and work up to it. This
Right.
might be about your partner's comfort level. It might be about their own limits. It might be that they're willing to explore a smaller version of what you're proposing, and that's okay. That's progress that gets you to hopefully good times together. But yeah, it's that it's a little chaotic, but all of that we just said, that's what we think. Now, somebody took the screenshot for this next question and did it in dark mode, so pardon me while I squint.
Goodness.
Okay.
Goodness.
Oh, I'm that person, just took her glasses off to see. Okay. And they even said that they were struggling on how to word it, but I think we know what they mean.
Yeah.
So, how do we manage our DS and vanilla aspects of our marriage when there is another partner? Now, in our situation, I'm not monogamous in theory, although I'm at a point in life I'd like to take that theory part away, but I'm a mess. You are definitely non-monogamous in practice.
Right.
You have had over our relationship multiple other partners who are not me, who do not interact with me more than we want to on a friendly basis. So the experience of the navigating a partnership outside of the DS and outside of us is on you. The experience of being the partner who's sitting at home is on my side. So what would you say to that question?
I would say probably the biggest thing is taking each partner's feelings and needs into consideration. You know, I mean, like with us.
And also understanding that all of our feelings are important,
Right.
but also, like in a vanilla aspect, life still goes on. There's still kids to raise, bills to pay, mortgage to pay.
And that's the thing, you know, there's day-to-day life, there's stuff with the kids, there's, you know, this going on, that going on, you know, the AC breaks again, you know.
Right. Sometimes the plan you have for a chat, a call, a date, or whatever has to be postponed, certainly not because a partner over here is going, don't do it, not because you don't want to do it, but because the primary part of your life that has to be lived day to day with the first relationship.
Right.
We don't necessarily use primary, although I can make an argument for calling us primary without it being overly hierarchical. Anyway, that still has to happen because at the end of the day, this is where you live. This is the family that you're going to spend the vast majority of your time with.
Right.
You know, we have obligations to one another and to kids and to this house and to blah, blah, blah. And so the navigation of it is that word I hate, again, patience. Yeah. And that word I love, which is communication.
Right. And I think what happens there is just like, and I cannot think of the word right now, so you have to help me, you know, like when we're negotiating something and we're trying to find that middle ground.
I think I don't know what word you're looking for, but I understand what you're talking about.
Okay, you understand the concept.
Yeah.
So, you know, in the case of another partner, then it is the compromise. That's what I was looking for.
I like that
compromise. Word too. Then it's a matter of being able to find the compromise that works for.
And so far,
all.
this has all been on you.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that?
Carefully.
So I've only had theoretical thoughts, okay? Like, you are my daddy dom and you are 24/7 my daddy dom.
Right.
And if I were to have another partner, they would absolutely be a dom or a top because we've already been there, right? And I thought about it. I was like, how would I navigate having a second dom? And I realized that for me, in theory, because, you know, once you actually get out there in the real world, it never works that way. But in theory, for me, as a submissive, the second dom, who I'm not going to marry and raise children with, most likely, cannot countermand my first priority of you. They either have to slot into an unfulfilled need that I have and that matches what they want, or there has to be some level, as little or as much as would work, of understanding between the two of you. Now, from a submissive perspective, I do not have that with your partners. I tend to stay out of your relationships. I'm happy to do that. I don't feel left out. You do a really good job of, like, I still know that I am your baby girl, but I also understand that there are times you just recently had a visit. You were gone for 3 days. It's the first time in our relationship that he went away for multiple days, and he was not calling me before he went to bed or when I went to bed, because that would have been wrong. Your visit was with that partner. I was not a part of that. And I understood, and ages ago, before this relationship, made peace with the fact that I do not need to be inserting myself in that, right? So the thing that I think theoretically I might need to have 2 people in my life who both have Dom energy, I do not need nor want with your submissive partners. Like, I can carry on my stuff over here and let you carry on your stuff over there. The difference, though, is if I thought that our power exchange or our vanilla life was getting neglected, I feel like it's absolutely my job to step in and go,
that would be different, yes.
I'm glad you're happy. However, the lights aren't on and I could use your help.
Yeah.
But it's, for me, that's how it's been. It's an understanding of who I am, the security I have. I know who I am to you. I don't have to prove that. I don't have to be reminded of that. I mean, I like to be reminded of that, but I don't have to be. And you keep being my Dom. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you split the attention and the focus the way you do. From my perspective, on the outside looking in, when you are all in with that other partner, like, one, I know I don't go in and interrupt when it's communicated to me not to do so.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you're with me, every once in a while, you'll try and you'll say, you're my focus right now, baby girl. And then a text comes there and I'm like, am I? But that's really for you to navigate.
Yeah.
And
it's a little bit of a juggling act.
I can imagine.
It's a little bit of a juggling act.
Imagine. So, yeah, it's so far you've navigated it well. I'm not sure if I can imagine you having other, like, play partners. I cannot imagine you having, like, a roster of submissives and being able to keep that emotional energy.
No.
Even he's like, I have my limit.
No. And you know, that was something that was brought up in conversation at one point. You know, it was asked, how many partners, submissives do you think you could have? I'm like, probably not more than 2. I don't think I have, with everything I have going on in my life, between the shop, between this, between the kids.
Between being married to this person right here.
You, yeah. You know, it's...
Sure.
I don't think I can handle much more.
To understand your limitations and to understand that there's going to come a point you're like, no more. I can't give my best to too many people.
Right. And not give my best to, you know, whoever. Right. At that point, I would be starting to pulled thin.
Every partner you have would be feeling the lack.
Right.
And I hope you're never in this position. I hope I never put you in this position. But I know how I would react as the partner you're married to, partner who's your 24/7 submissive, the partner you raise kids with, the partner you have a business with. Not like, I don't like the hierarchical thing, but let's be real. Like, there's responsibilities that you'll have with one partner that you won't have with another.
Right.
And I hope it never comes down to me having to go, you are slipping on all of your responsibilities to me and this family. Something has to change. I don't want that to happen. As your service submissive, I want to make your life easy. You went out of town for 3 days, and I kept everything going. What's funny, and it's not like there's been a lot of stuff that you've gone and done. First of all, COVID put a fucking kibosh on that for a few years. But also, you're not like constantly out there like dating around. Like you don't do that, which I kind of appreciate, because I don't know that I personally would be as comfortable with that as I am with you developing relationships over time. But every time you go off and have an adventure, I have new epiphanies. And
True.
And I am forced to realize there's things I have to deal with. Like the very first time you went away overnight with somebody else, oh my insecurities were right there.
Yeah, that was pre-COVID.
Yeah, it was only one night, and it was a tough night for me. But when you came back, we could have a conversation. But even then, I always had the philosophy, I'm not inserting myself in that. I don't care how bad I feel. I'm not calling you unless something's on fire or I'm sitting in the ER with a child. Like, I'm not. I'm going to just handle it. That, weirdly, that's not a conversation we've ever had. That's a thing I decided because it felt right. And we just keep doing it. And now I'm actually saying it out loud.
But see, I think, too,
we probably should have had a conversation. But we didn't.
But I think that's something, too, that, you know, when those circumstances arise, you know, there is always going to be some new thing, something that wasn't considered before. And you know, it is a matter of keeping the communication flowing in all the directions.
And that's not easy. I think it's worth it. Like, you came back from this most recent trip, and I was ready for you to be home. And I was like, guess what I've learned about myself in 3 days? Because apparently that's what I do when you're not here. And it had nothing to do with what you were doing and everything to do with what I was not doing. I haven't made no changes. We've made no, like, revelations. But my thinking on some things has changed, which is kind of refreshing. Like, sometimes it's like I need that jolt.
Well.
And apparently that was it.
That's what it took. Yeah.
But, like, in this most recent trip, we did a good morning text to one another. We did a good night text to one another. That was the extent of that. And then the only time I really reached out, and this is the navigating, how do you navigate your vanilla life? I had a work question that I wanted resolved that day.
Right.
Like, it was important customer service-wise to resolve it. I sent you the text for that. I think something happened with a kid, and I sent you the text for that. And after that, I let you dictate the terms of our communication. How am I able to do that? Because that's not going to work for everybody. It's because we have developed this relationship that we have and the trust that we have and the communication levels that we have.
Right.
I would not feel comfortable telling somebody who just got into non-monogamy 5 minutes ago with 2 brand new partners that that's going to work for them. Because we can do that because of the relationship that we've nurtured over time and our understanding of one another. And the fact that I know I am perfectly safe when it's the right time to come to you and go, this happened and I didn't like it. Or this happened and I feel a way about it. And or this happened and
we need to
tweak?
work away. Right.
And I know I can do that. So I don't need to do that when you're off doing something else. And I want to be that person who respects the fact that you're off doing something else, because if I were in the same position, you would do the same for me.
I would do the same for you.
You would respect the fact that I'm over there doing that thing with that other person. Yeah. I do not consider us the non-monogamy people to come to, because 1, I'm still over here in theory. 2, I actually have not immersed myself in the language of it and the principles of it. I just kind of know what we do and the little bit that I've read and heard and learned from others, and we just incorporate that. Yeah. So if you're looking for non-monogamy advice for your power exchange, we are not it. We're figuring it out.
It's just like any other aspect of kink. It's an ongoing learning process.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
You know, sometimes mistakes are made, and you learn from your mistakes and try to grow from them.
And communication is key, as always.
Right.
Okay, these next 2 came from the same person, and they're kind of related, so I'm going to group them together.
Okay.
The first part is, we've fallen out of kink. We both want it back, but it feels intimidating. So any ideas on where to start? They're DDLG.
Okay.
And then the next part is, what are the best ways a submissive can encourage their dom to take the lead again, kindly, without insulting their partner? So the thing is you saying, I would really like you to take the lead again, this is important to me, is a great way to start. And I hope you don't have a partner who is insulted by that, because I'm going to have a lot more questions for that partner about their insecurities. I think you can just, in the way that your relationship is kind of works and the way y'all work, I think you can just say, hey, I miss this. I need this. Here's what I'd love to have from you. Is this something you can do? Is this something you're up for? If not, what are you up for? What, like, come at it from a place of vulnerability and openness with a long-term partner. Unless there are other problems, I mean, that should be the easiest opener.
Yeah.
Is just to say, I miss this and I want this, and how can we get back to there?
Right.
You know, what do you want to do first? How will this work for you?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I'm not really sure what more I can add to that, because I'm serious. Just telling somebody, gosh, what happened? We used to have so much fun with that. Can we, find a way to get back there again?
Mm-hmm. And then when you decide to start back up, I am a big, big believer in starting with something that's just fun. That's just fun. Like, because there's plenty of things that will stress you out. There are plenty of issues that you will have to navigate. There are plenty of things you'll be like, oh, I thought this way and now I don't. Or, oh, I wanted this at one point and now I don't. Like, that's coming down the pipe at you, right? It's inevitable. But if you're rebuilding, what is a fun thing you both enjoyed? It can be a small thing. I think a lot of people think, even when you're getting back into it or you're starting it for the first time, you're supposed to jump in with both feet into the deep end and just swim. And one, that's impractical for most of us. And two, no, you can literally start with this teeny tiny small thing. Like, since we're talking about DDLG, as the little, what makes you feel your most little self that your partner can participate in, that they want to? Start there. Get the good feeling back. Get those positive feelings flowing. Get a little bit of that memory back of, oh yeah, this is what we really liked about it. And then you can slowly start adding things back. Also, I would say, do not expect that whatever you did, however long ago you did, is going to be right for you right now. You might have to completely revamp your power exchange, because it's got to fit the life you have right now. It's got to fit the people you are right now.
Right. Because life we have now is totally different than the life we had when we first moved in together. And our DS is totally different from when we first met.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add? Okay. Next question. Any caregiver little date night suggestions to help stay connected and highlight our dynamic? And I'm going to give the really boring answer of, what do you like to do? Because I can tell you what I think would be good for us.
Right.
Going to a Disney movie or a princess movie is going to do it for me. Anytime I can dress up and feel pretty, especially when I'm wearing purple, I feel very much my baby girl self. What else would you say?
I'm trying to think.
I don't do games, so you can't take me to a Dave & Buster's. I'm going to be bored and want a cocktail.
Yeah,
okay, I'm not. That's not going to hit my baby girl self.
No, that will not hit your...
No, it'll hit my anxious girl self. And no.
It may not seem like so much of a baby girl DDLG thing, but I know one thing that really strikes your heart for something like that is taking you to a bookstore.
I requested that as a date.
You did.
Children go back to
You
school.
did. So, and again, that's because it's something, that's personal. But,
when we had access to Build-A-Bear, I used to like to go to Build-A-Bear.
Yeah.
Because I like a good stuffy. And even if I don't buy anything, I want to look and see what's there, because then I'm like, okay, oh, you don't have anything purple? Oh, you don't have anything that, like, hits my geeky heart? Not interested. But I can still walk through and look at all the cute little clothes. We go to the pet store to buy cat litter, y'all, but my baby girl heart immediately goes to the section where they're adopting out cats and wants to bring every one of them home. That costs nothing. That fills me with glee. So the best date nights are, who are you as a little, who is your partner as a caregiver, what makes you feel that, even if you're not maybe actively showing it. Like, I know there's people who go into age regression and they have a certain way of speaking, they have a certain way of dressing. If that's not something you feel comfortable that you can do publicly without having to answer uncomfortable questions, what are activities that are near and dear to that for you that will give you a little bit of that feeling, or will let you have that feeling on a private level with your partner while going out on a date?
There are
and that's
some
unique to everybody.
littles who would love a good date night for them would be to build a pillow fort.
Yeah, I don't have
You
patience
know,
for that. I'm not a very good little, okay? I'm a great baby girl.
Coloring is always
Some
another.
people, yeah.
You know, puzzles.
We used to go, and we would pick we would not pick restaurants purposely, but if you can do it, go for it. If this suits you, we would go out to dinner. No, we would do it because we do it with the kids when they were young enough to still eat off the kids menu. And like on a kids night or a place that just does kids menus really well, there's a coloring page, okay?
Yeah.
Or a restaurant that does the whole paper, the whole table covered in the white
paper
with a cup of crayons.
Cody's was one for that. Yeah.
Look, it didn't look like shit to anybody else, but he and I would be sitting there. I'd be doodling. I draw hearts and flowers. That's what I draw. And I'd be doodling and coloring them in, and you'd be and we'd be having a good old time. And it looks quote normal because it's there and available for anybody. It's supposed to be for the kids. Well, we're kids at heart, as if somebody had asked, we would say. And it was a great time, and it didn't look like anything. But really, the best date night is what's going to hit your little heart. What is out there that is peripheral to what you would do at home that maybe won't look so obvious. I'm a big fan of like the animated movies. Like, is Disney coming out with a thing? Let's go see it. As long as it looks stupid.
Somebody mentioned in the chat an amusement park. A water park.
That's my version of hell, but if that excites you, go do it.
Not everybody is an anxious introvert, you know.
Who doesn't like going upside down heights or too fast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm a delight. I don't know why I'm still, it's not single, but like only having one partner in a non-monogamous life. I can't imagine. It's so hard to comprehend. I'm fun. I'm so fun. Look, I'm fun because I'm a sarcastic bitch. I'm going to make you laugh when it's the worst time to laugh. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make you laugh in a way you're going to be like, oh my God, am I wrong for laughing at this? We're at a funeral. Why am I chuckling? That's who I am. I'm a delight. Anyway.
You are a delight.
Okay, so those questions took longer than I thought they would. There were more than I thought there were. But if you feel up for it, maybe take 2 to 3 from the live chat.
Yeah.
Unless they're super fast, and then sure. Okay. So, for the live stream, live chat portion of this episode, bonus questions. We do have moderators. They will put your ass in a corner if you spam this chat. The way it works is if you would like to ask a question, type @LovingBDSM so it tags us so we can see it. Ask your question. If your question is too big to be asked in one, max 2 posts on YouTube, send us an email, okay? It's gonna be too long for this.
Yeah.
So they can be fun questions. They can be deep questions. Go for it. Ask us anything in the live chat. And while we wait for people to furiously type.
Yeah.
I don't know what we'll do.
Here we are.
Yep. So, and thank you, Silent Winged, for giving a lesson on how to do tagging, because I know that is difficult. Some people are trying to tag us, and it still doesn't come up. And just a reminder, while we wait for questions to come through, we do Q&As, open and available for anybody who can make it. The third Friday, usually. Third Friday night on YouTube, virtual hangout. And then definitely every month, usually first Saturday, we do it for our patrons only. So there are ways to get your questions asked.
Yeah.
And I saw this come through. It didn't get tagged, but I saw it, so that works.
Okay.
Angel asked, do you have any tips for adjusting to a new community after moving? Feels harder to make friends when you're not a newbie to a new community. Whoo, I feel that one. I feel that one. We did that when we moved from Tampa Bay to where we live now. Go ahead, social director.
I am going to put this in kind of in a nutshell. The only way to not be a newbie is to go to events.
Well, and the thing is they're not a newbie, but they're new to the community.
Yeah.
Because last night we were at a munch, and I'm sitting with somebody, and she was very nice. The whole vibe was good. But the vibe I got off of her in the conversation is she thought everybody sitting around her was new to kink. And I'm over here like, you're not asking me, but I'll tell you I got almost 10 years, but you hadn't asked me yet. But I'm watching her ask other people, and I was like, because she didn't recognize people, and they didn't, and she led with, now I don't know if this is good advice or not, I'm just saying what I saw last night. She led with, I've been doing this X number of years, for her it was she had taken a break from the local community, just took a break for a few years, blah blah blah. But in the conversations to other people, she didn't recognize, there was, for me, an air of, how new are you? Are you new? How new are you? And I was like, so you can lead with, I've been doing this for a minute, if you want.
I mean, you may not per se be a newbie to the lifestyle, but you can almost say you're a newbie to that community. And the only way to really overcome that is to attend the events. Go to the munches. Do they have socials? And start interacting with people. This munch that we went to last night, I've been going to for some time now.
I was trying to tell that same person how long you've been going. I was like, I don't even know. Time has no meaning.
Yeah.
Because you started going pre-COVID, didn't you?
Yes.
And then COVID shut everything down, and then you
Right.
started back up again once you were vaccinated.
Correct.
And they started again because they had shut down for a while.
Yeah, this munch did not totally shut down.
Gotcha. Okay.
But at any rate,
It
slowed way down. The person who organizes the munch felt he kind of had a need to keep it going as much as possible, because with people being isolated with COVID,
Yeah.
and
that's a thing that had to be navigated for
right.
sure.
And he tried to keep a balance, for people to have somewhere to go to do that. But at any rate, yeah, pre-COVID, I kind of started going to this. It's funny because someone there at the munch I knew immediately because they attended an old munch from where we used to live.
Yep.
They moved up in the general area as well.
I believe there was also a JB sighting at one of them as well. So that was
Yeah.
helpful. Go get yourself a podcast and a YouTube channel. No.
But, from going there, I kind of sat quietly at first, but, just from being seen, from being there, people, you've been here a few times now,
Right.
and talking with people. And, last night, I, as much as this person sitting next to me like to think I was, working the room, I was actually kind of conservative with them. I didn't get to talk to everybody I wanted to.
The room. We will talk about this in the bonus section. I've got thoughts. Here's what I want to say directly to Angel's question about. I'm new.
Yeah.
It's a new community. When we first moved here, we had been active in our former community.
We even ran the munch there for temporarily, yeah.
I was still my anxious, self, but I had such a good positive experience with our former community. I was open to going to new community things, and we did a few things. And what I realized for me, you might be different, but what I realized for me is it's about the vibe. If I walk into, I don't expect communities here to feel and be like the communities that we left, but there's a vibe I want to feel. And if I don't feel the vibe, I don't want to go again. So the very first thing we went and did, I've bitched about it many times on this show. We walked in and we were basically ignored. It was very cliquish. It was everybody staring at us and almost nobody saying hi to us. The organizers didn't say anything to us. And I went, maybe they're lovely people, but they're not my people. We did not go back because the vibe was off. There was a munch that through a person that we made friends with right after we moved here that she had started up. It started off small. I was really willing to do that because I knew it was going to be small at first. Then COVID hit and that went to the wayside. This one that we went to last night, first of all, if you're an anxious person at all, if you have a person you can send out as like the advanced forces, I don't know anything about military. It's the only term I know.
Recon.
There you go. Do that if you can, if you have access to that. If not, I think it's, it goes back to the stuff we say to people who are brand new to munches. let it be known to whoever the organizer is, or in this case, it was like this, there's the organizer, and then they have like kind of the social director, because the organizer is going to make sure it happens, organize the chairs, but that person's not talking to anybody. So they have a social director who's the person who'll talk to everybody. That person takes it very seriously that people who are new to the munch, no matter what experience they have in the community, feel welcome when they get there. So use that same advice that newbies get of let the people who are running it, on a FetLife account or wherever, let them know you're coming and it's your first time coming to this munch. If you walk into a room, too many of us don't do this enough, and I think we should get more comfortable with it. If you walk into that space and the vibe is off, it's okay if you turn around and walk the fuck out. That's okay. But what it might be is you sit quietly. I desperately wanted to sit at a table leaning against a wall where I would have only one person next to me, and his name would be John Brownstone. Did that happen? No, it did not. Also, if you can bring a friend, whether they're a kink friend or they're a kink aware friend who's not judgy, to not go alone, do that. But don't stay where the vibe's not right. Yeah. That's my top thing that we've now learned from switching communities. I'm not going where I don't like the vibe. Nope. And yes, I will turn around and walk out of a room if I don't like it. I mean, I might have to sit in the car by myself till Social Butterfly is done, checking to make sure he doesn't like the vibe. But, it's fine. Okay, I saw some more tags. Yeah. Okay. Love Not Hate asks, how would you go about helping a monogamous partner of a poly person be comfortable with a new partner? I used to kind of technically almost be that monogamous partner. And if they're open to the fact that you are non-monogamous and they're comfortable with that, you've already crossed a mountain. You've already done the hard part, I think. There's lots more hard parts coming up, but that to me is the hardest part. At that point, it's about them figuring out their comfort level. I am not opposed to meeting any of JB's partners, but I don't need to meet him either. And that is about who I am as a person, not who I am as a submissive. That's about my anxious hot girl stuff. I got social anxiety. I don't need to meet people. If they tell you that they don't need to meet that person, then let that be okay until they figure out maybe it's not, or they change their mind, or right. And it's back to that balance of juggling what this partner needs versus what this partner needs. Right. I would say I would look to you as more of an expert on this. If you had to do it, how would you introduce, I'm not monogamous, but I essentially am, in practicality am, how would you introduce a partner of yours to me? Set that scenario. Where would we be? What would that look like? How would you plan that? What would we do?
Over a cup of coffee.
Someplace public.
Yeah.
We once tried to meet a potential threesome partner that way.
We did.
He was a very lovely person. I'm pretty sure I scared him off. I am officially a lot registered trademark, so I mean, he did want to look at my ass, and that was great, but it didn't scare him off.
That's right.
But over a meal or over coffee.
We had a lunch date. Yeah.
Sort of like in that non-pressure situation of, you're kind of semi in public, so you're going to keep your conversation at a certain level. Is it easy to get up and leave for anybody involved if they want to? Yeah. I mean, that's, coffee. We would do it over coffee.
Right.
We would try and get a table that's out of the way and not go in a coffee shop where they're blasting the music. Like the last time we wanted to have an important conversation and couldn't because the music was too damn loud.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not shouting about non-monogamy to you. Literally, that was our conversation. I'm not shouting this over the music.
You want to have some place that's copacetic to conversation. Absolutely.
Okay, Mel asks, is there anything we want to explore once the kids are back in school and have more alone time? We would like to just explore one another.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's not anything that's a fault of either of ours. It's just the way life has evolved, especially in the summertime with the kids being home. The kids had become a priority.
Especially this summer, we're working with them on neurodivergencies and mental health issues, and it's been a lot of focus on them this summer, as it needs to be.
Absolutely,
but a lot of focus,
So, we have already been talking. The day they go back to school, we have some plans.
We do.
We have some plans.
I'm about to overschedule us. I'm about
Well,
to
you set up the schedule now. I will look it over.
I know. Well, some things I
And-
have to call and make appointments about.
True.
There is a
True,
couples
true, true.
massage in our future.
Yeah.
So fucking
We
excited.
we
So
both kind of need I think a massage would be good for.
And then a couple's
both of-
pedicure.
Mm-hmm,
Oh, that hits my baby girl heart.
there you
That
go.
hits my baby girl heart.
There you go. But I think as far as exploring anything new at this point, maybe not so much new, but reconnecting with some of the old things that we love.
I know. And then I had a mercenary idea about what to do with that. And we're not talking about it right now because there's nothing to talk about. But
Yeah.
of course I took it too far. Is anybody surprised?
Right.
But yeah, one of the things, and we talked about this, one of the things that I realized when you were gone and you were not right here, one, I was like, this sucks. I miss him. I was very happy for you, as I keep stating, because I don't want anybody to be confused. But I was like, holy shit, I don't like missing him. And then we were laying in bed later, and I said, I don't like missing you, but damn it, you being gone and coming back makes me like want to be more intimate. Want like what was that expression? About the heart growing fonder.
Absence.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's like, God damn it, can't the
Yeah.
heart just grow fonder with you in the next room? Apparently not. So yeah, I think we're more invested in rekindling.
Yeah.
Also, the dumpster fire that has been the past 365 plus days, I don't want to jinx us. It's not gone away yet. But
Yeah.
I feel like we can breathe again. Whereas
I-
for the past year, it's not felt like taking a deep
think
breath.
there are a number of things that are finally beginning to wind down.
Resolve themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, which
And
is
so-
nice. Which is part of one of my phone calls prior to just the
Yeah.
the show.
We almost started the stream late, but it was
Yeah.
an important call. Okay, we
Right.
have Jerica has a question. I have some concerns about my caregiver. I need for him to tell me good morning every morning, but he's forgotten a few times. And when we first started, I told him it's something I need. It makes me feel sad and lonely when he doesn't. I've told him about how it makes me feel before. What should I do? So it's tough because on one hand, the forgiving, kind, empathetic part of me says it is hard to start a new habit. And so therefore, if there are barriers for him in doing this habit, that's going to be a challenge. The part of me that has zero fucks to give says if he'd have wanted to, he'd would. Like, which is not always true. That really is not always true.
I mean, there are times for all of us.
Right.
You know, life gets in the way. One of the first things that popped in my mind is, if this is something you talk to this person about, if it's a busy thing that sometimes things get busy in their life, maybe have him set a calendar reminder.
Yeah. What can he do on his end that is not you and your emotional energy making it happen? What can he do on his end to make this happen? If he's not willing to do those things, then that would say to me that this is not a priority. If that's not a priority, what else is not a priority?
Right.
And sometimes those are the hard conversations you have to have, and sometimes those are the hard decisions you have to make. Like, what is the question I would ask in the way that is natural for you to ask it? What is the barrier for you? What is happening that prevents you? Is it a memory thing? Is it a busy thing? Is it what is it? Yeah. Okay, how do we resolve that? What would an alarm do? What did this do? What did that, right? If he's willing to work on it and to get better, and if your distress is important to him and he's willing to try, you can't expect perfection, but you should expect effort. If that person's not willing to put in effort or dismisses your feelings, that's a sign. That's a sign that they're gonna probably continue to do that. And so that's when it comes down to the sometimes difficult and sometimes not that difficult decision of, do we continue? But the kind part of me wants to start from the place of what's preventing this from happening and how can it be fixed, not with you doing the work, but with him putting in, that person putting in the effort. Did I gender? I'm sorry. No, you said him. Okay. You know, and then you go from there, because that's, having that information or having that conversation will tell you more. And then you can maybe in a better position to make whatever your decision needs to be. Okay. I saw one that did not get tagged, but somebody tagged so that I can thank you. Gabrielle says, I'm in a newly established MS relationship, and my partner doesn't give me any positive attention or love, even though I've told him that I need it. What should I do? Why are we with somebody who does not give you the positive, good, loving, whatever you've asked for, that you've communicated? Why are we here?
Yep.
If they can't do it now, when are they supposed to do it? Are they telling you why? Are they communicating anything? Is it that the not the what you're asking for, but the way you're asking for it is not compatible with the way they're willing to give it? Are they saying you don't need it? Like, none of it sounds good. Somebody said, I don't know what Kayla's going to say, but probably run.
Red flag, yeah.
Yeah. Because if you're communicating your needs and they're not giving you some reason for why it's not happening that you accept, and if you're asking the question, I'm going to say, if they're even giving you a reason, it's not one you like or one that you believe or one that you feel is right, why are we still here? Because the thing is about any power dynamic, any power exchange, both sides of the slash need to be getting their needs met. And if those needs are not compatible, then the people are not compatible.
It is not a one-way
street.
street. Not a one-way street.
And if that's what the bullshit you're being fed, that it's about your partner's needs and not yours, that is definitely a red flag. Get the fuck out of there if you can. Safely take care of yourself. But yeah. Okay. Okay. How much time are we on this? Okay.
It's 1:15 now.
Let's call this the question. I'm about to read the last question. Okay.
All right.
Georgia Little says, any tips or ideas on how to do little space activities without a caregiver dom? I have trouble convincing myself that it's okay to make it a priority for myself. I don't think the problem is the doing of the activities. Then I think you've answered your question. The problem is prioritizing it. So you know what makes you feel little. If you have access to be able to do those things solo, you're free to do them.
Yeah.
It's the question to me is, how do I make this a priority? How do I tell myself it's worth it? I have a lot of good theoretical answers. I am not good at this. I am absolutely a person who will ignore the things that I know make me feel happy and fulfilled and excited.
I have to tell you. Do this.
I'm screwed if you're ever like gone from this earth. That's why we're going out like Thelma and Louise. But I think it's, one thing I would say is, if these are things that you miss, and if these are things that make you feel good, sometimes the reminder is that you deserve to feel good. You're worthy of feeling good. You don't have to have a partner to feel good. If any of those things help reduce stress or anxiety, sometimes you have to just tell yourself, this is actually good for me. If I do this, I will feel better on some level. If doing it solo makes you feel bad, do not force yourself to do it until and unless there comes a time when it doesn't make you feel bad to do it solo. Right. Another thing, depending on the community and the access you have, within the BDSM community, thankfully, slowly but surely, more and more community groups are becoming a little bit more open to littles. Not universally. There's still some people who give side eyes to the caregiver little thing, I know, but some are. And so if you have access in an area you're willing to travel to, or an online community that does stuff for littles, like we is it the Woodshed, like they do like a sleepover and they'll have a playroom and they'll just do stuff, and it's not about being partnered, it's about being a little. If you have access to something like that, go do that, so you're not actually doing it alone, you're in a group of other people. And often in a lot of those cases, it doesn't matter if you're partnered or not, because caregivers might be there, but they might not. It's really an activity associated with for the littles. It's a time for the littles to come together. So if that's an option, do that. And so then you're not really doing it solo.
Yeah.
You're doing it with a group of other people. But yeah. So, okay. That is it for the questions for this time. Thank you, everybody, for your questions.
Great questions.
I know. I don't think I ranted. I think I was very calm, cool, and collected
You
this
were.
time. What the fuck?
Wow.
I don't know.
What's
Y'all have to
going
try
on
harder
there?
next time.
Ooh.
That's what I'm saying.
She upped the stakes, folks.
Yeah. I did sort of throw down the gauntlet there, didn't I? Fuck. Silent Winged will rise to the challenge. I feel this.
Yep.
So
Okay.
we're going to do a bonus section.
Yeah.
Because we got stuff that's still kink related to talk about in the bonus section.
Right,
It's an actual bonus section.
Yeah. Yeah.
For once.
Okay.
Okay.
So, are we good?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Keep it kinky, y'all. And we'll see you next week. Daddy,
Yes, baby girl.
can I talk to the crickets, please?
Yes, you can talk to the crickets.
You didn't do that just to fuck with me, did you?
No, I did not.
You were actually struggling.
Did you see the look on my face? The like, where is it?
Yeah, but you're good at play acting. I'm just saying.
No, I did not do that on purpose. I would have been laughing my ass off if I did it on purpose.
It would be now.
Yeah,
you
right.
are great at a mind fuck. You can hold the serious face for longer than you think you can.
See, it still kept, even though it was unintentional, still helped keep. Talk to the crickets.
Thank you.
Talk to the crickets.
I went to the first munch that I've been to since before the plague entered our world.
Yeah.
After how many months have you... I mean, there was 1 month. It's been a couple months, but there was some point right before or right after you'd gone to that month's munch that you sounded almost desperate. Like you thought I would never leave the house again and I would never go to a munch with you again.
Beginning to wonder.
So let's do a couple things here. Let's level set. The kids' mental health has been a top priority.
Yes, it has.
So
It
I've
has.
been very cognizant of when we go somewhere, if the youngest is being left alone, what are the conditions for him being left alone? Who's going to be around? How long are we going to be gone? What time of day it is? Not just for my own comfort level as a parent, but for his, with a lot of fucking anxiety. There's just been a lot.
Yeah.
So I said months ago, when you sounded like you might cry, because it was like, I don't think you're ever going to go to another munch with me again. I said, unfortunately, it has to be perfect conditions. Okay. It has to be a night where the now 17-year-old can be home and he's not alone all night. Yeah. Also, if I recall, this was as I was expanding out of my current wardrobe at the time. I was like, and I need new clothes because I'm not leaving this house looking like a stuffed sausage. That is not comfortable for me. You made the first happen. And then we did not schedule correctly to make sure that the oldest could be home for last month.
Very
and then
true.
this month, and I've said it, but I don't know if it sank in yet. At least through the first semester of school this year, I should be able to go nearly every month.
I did catch that.
Okay.
I didn't want to make a big thing out of it.
I was waiting for you to jump up and down with joy. Hello. If I say it, please make a big deal out of it. It's clearly important if I say it.
All right.
It's not true. That's not true at all. Whee! Maybe don't do that in public or where others can see you. But okay. So, and you would come home and tell me about the munch, and I knew the vibe was going to be fine, because if you like a vibe, I like a vibe. Sometimes I like a vibe only because you like a vibe, but that's enough for me. That's a starting point, right?
Yeah.
I'm self-aware enough to know that sometimes my anxious brain lies to me, and the vibe really is fine. It's just me. So you've been coming home for months telling me stories about people you've met. The night you got into your motorcycle accident, not quite a year ago, was coming home from the munch.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you, that was we were coming home and I recognized the street signs or the highway signs, and I went, we're in the turn lane, and I went, oh my God, is this where it happened? And your breath hitched, and you went, yeah, it is. And we both just sat at that red light very quietly. And I was like, I'm not going to cry right now, but holy shit.
Not quite at that red light itself, but in that section of road. Yes.
Right. So, and And that night, I'm like, you've been going there to show off paddles. You've gotten to know people who've purchased pins, like all kinds of stuff. You've gotten to know people that know us. Shout out to Mason and Bunny. Hi, if you're listening. And I knew we were in the ER a year ago, and you had paddles in your bag.
And,
proving that the EMT folks have seen it all, because nobody even liked it. But, so like these are your people, and I know they're your people, and you've been doing what I think of as kind of a classic. I'm a mostly mentally healthy person who loves a crazy anxious person. You've been telling me that it's kind of low key. It's kind of growing. Yeah, last month we had a lot of people, but it's fine. It's fine. And I'm going, is it though? And I still didn't even know what time the damn thing started, but I since learned you've been actually getting there early.
Yeah.
Clearly it was not early enough. So you had created your routine of going there. And so you did what many people do. You told me what to expect based on what you've experienced for at least a year now.
Correct.
Because I was like, will I be able to sit at a table with my back to a wall and not feel like there are people all around me? And you went, yeah, that should be fine. That should be fine. What I did not know was that in order to do this, you would have had to give up the seat you usually have to do it. Because he did not realize I was going to take a chair directly next to a wall, and that was going to be my seat if we could get it. And so, you've got, like, it's stress-free. Now, in the 30 minutes before we left, I had my typical thoughts of, I really would like to lose 15 pounds before we leave the house tonight. Why does everything I wear suck? And shit, do I have time to paint my toenails and get a whole pedicure? The answer is always no, but that's when I think of these things. So I was like, oh my God, I look awful. Oh, I should hide myself. I looked fine. I was cute. It was fine.
She did, and
But-
she was.
Anxious girl shit, okay? So we get there, and I know it's not going to be what he's been selling me for over a year, because we walk into the back room, and it's a back room. There's plenty of privacy. I'm not worried about any of that. I'm like, okay, this is standard for me. I understand the vibe here. We walk in, though, and he's like, do, and I'm following right behind him, because I've already told him I'm going to be attached to his ass tonight, okay? do. And he stops, and he goes, oh. There are people here already. And I went,
There was already half a dozen or more people there.
all the good seats were taken. Did I get a seat next to a goddamn wall so nobody could be roaming behind me and all around me and I could have a corner? No, the fuck I didn't. I was literally in the center of what ended up being several. We ended up adding a table to put potentially 5 more people on the other side of me.
We were moving a lot of tables to accommodate there was easily 40 people there last night.
JB is the social director. Twice I looked up and he was hauling chairs and tables around. I was like, okay, I am firmly in this seat. I did not get up to go to the bathroom. I didn't get up to hug no damn body. I sat people wanted to talk to me. I swiveled in my chair. That is what we did. Partly because when I sat down, I did not tuck my dress well enough. And I was like, if I stand up now, everybody's going to see the unicorn panties. This is not the moment for that. The other part was, oh shit, these thighs are stuck to this chair. I'm not moving. Also, I would like to be invisible. I would just like to be invisible right now. Now, here's the thing. Every fucking buddy I came across, super nice, super friendly. The vibe was legit. It was good energy. I was like, these people are very nice. I was told by JB later, thank God later, oh, that guy totally was into the idea of what we were talking about. We were talking about public scening. Oh yeah, he totally thought you were attractive. And I was like, what? I was like, I didn't see that. And then I did my thing of then dissecting it. Wait, how do you know? What were his facial expressions? What did he say? I wasn't listening because I wasn't listening. How did his eyes dart around?
I had to play the tape back for her. Yeah.
But everybody was super nice.
Yeah.
The people who knew of me or knew me, definitely very nice. Very respectful of the fact that I was clearly like eyes very wide, jaw very clenched, sitting there looking at my phone a lot. Did I at one point text the 17-year-old and go, I would like a legitimate reason to be on my phone. Tell me about something I have a question about. That could it have waited till we got home? Of course it could have waited. I was like, oh, just texting the kids to make sure they're okay.
Yeah. Jennifer, the unicorn panties came from a company called Me Undies.
I love Me Undies. They're super cute. They're super
Yeah.
comfortable. They're very, very comfortable. I didn't get I was not wearing thongs. I was not wearing sexy underwear. I was wearing comfy. Everything was comfy. Flip-flops.
Yeah.
Dressed with nothing that could touch me unless I wanted it to. The bra that is not attractive. Does not hold anything up, but is not uncomfortable. The unicorn panties. I felt good. I really felt good. It was all the bullshit in my brain. Then, and I had to make a conscious decision not to be upset about this, but I feel like I could have been, not at you because you didn't do anything wrong, but because this is how my brain works. I was like, what if you told people about why I haven't been coming with you? Because of the conversation I was getting into, I was like, yeah, we finally figured out childcare. Like, I'm not going into the kids' medical history, but I'm like, yeah, I want us to have childcare and it's been difficult and blah, blah, blah. Like, I wasn't going into details, but that was like the thing I was sticking with. And this one goes, oh, I've been telling them you're anxious. It's like, no wonder they all looked at me. Well, I mean, I couldn't decide. Were they looking at me like you do at the zoo and you see a cute but ferocious animal? Or when you think those old things back, like not that far back, but back in the day, they literally used to do tours of asylums. That's grotesque. But there is that sort of factor of, oh, that's what one looks like out, you know. I was like, that you told them I was anxious? No wonder they were so nice to me. But also thought I was weird. There was a lot of, are you okay, Kayla? Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm trying. Like in my head, I'm like, I'm trying to sit here and be invisible. I'm trying not to be noticed, but hi. And I told a couple of them because I did get into conversations. Y'all, I'm not a total like. I can turn it on when I need to, and I turned up the dial a little bit. Like I was Kayla Lords, sorta. And so I did warn a couple people. I'm like, look, give me 6 months to get comfortable. Y'all wish I was uncomfortable again. You'll be like, will this bitch shut up? Okay.
Well, you know, I did sit with you quite a bit. But, you know, having been going to that munch for a while now, you know, there were people I wanted to talk to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Social Butterfly over there was flitting. And I was very happy to let you, even though it was very difficult, because I was like, I would like to be attached to his ass, actually. But also, I don't want to talk to that many new people.
But, you know, at the same time, I was doing what I guess any good daddy would do. While I was off doing my talking, I would always, you know, kind of look your way.
What did you see? Because I knew you were around, but I would go ahead and let myself have the conversation with the person in front of me, or looking at my phone. But you know, and those conversations were good. I had a
few times I saw you sitting there in conversation with the persons across from you, and I actually saw you laughing a couple times.
Oh yeah. Look,
so I was like, oh, you know, okay, it's not all bad.
I don't know if masking is the right word when it's mental health and it's not neurodivergency, but whatever the mental health equivalent of that is, I can do that. I can put my armor on, and I mean, I have navigated most of my life nobody knowing I was a fucking wreck. I thought I would go into last night with that, but that is not how that worked out. But also, I now live a life where I'm just like kind of brutally honest sometimes, especially in kink spaces. So. Yeah. You know, I mean, at one point somebody said something to me and I went, oh, it's the social anxiety. They looked at me like I had grown another head. Was it because I said social anxiety? Was it because I sung the words? I don't know. But I also know if I put the armor on that is Kayla Lords, well, she will take over a fucking room when nobody asked. So the big thing was everybody who I talked to directly one-on-one was amazing. Watching other people interacting was so cool. The hard part for me, the only genuinely like hard to overcome part, was the fact that I wasn't in a corner. I was kind of in the center just because of where we sat. And there were so many people and so many conversations and so much noise, which I would never say that should not have happened. There were 40 plus people there.
Right.
That's what was going to happen. That I was overwhelmed. And then because I was meeting people for the first time and it was small talk, I was like, I am so bad at small talk. I just kept going, oh, okay. And maybe that makes me good at it, but I don't feel good at it. So it's like, but I would rather sit in a corner and have one deep, meaningful conversation with one human being there.
Right.
And I'd call that the best night of my fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
Or I have to turn this on to this level that y'all get to see and hear and piss everybody off. Like, and I would not do that to an organizer. I wouldn't, like, it's not my fucking event. Like, I don't need to do that. I just need to be myself. But it's been so long. I've been in the house so long. I'm like, who is myself? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But could she not have gotten a pedicure in the 20 minutes before we left and also dropped 50 pounds? That would have been even better. But it was fun to have conversations. Like, you asked about a club, a place that you had heard about, and I was kind of overhearing that conversation. And they're like, oh, yeah, and there's some crosses, and there's some this, and it was the conversation about, oh, yeah, they have it set up so people can watch. And my little exhibitionist stuff went,
Perked her right up.
I'll just lean. I don't want to join the conversation, but I'll lean into the conversation. So will I go back? Absolutely. Do I think that within a couple of months I'll be comfortable? Of course I will be.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a little strange, though, to know that not an insignificant amount of people understood that, oh, that's the scared one over there? It was like, I would have liked to have hid that.
But, well, here's the thing. I wasn't going to make anything up about the reason why I was going to a munch alone.
Because everybody wanted to know where his submissive was. Like,
right.
Where is your partner?
Right. And,
yeah,
being in the kink community, there are enough people that have anxiety, that have some form of neurodivergency, and they are understanding of that. Mm-hmm. And knowing that the people who understand that work with it. Mm-hmm. Okay, to not heighten that feeling.
Sure.
Okay.
And so it was a perfect storm last night of everybody was super nice, but there were so many of them.
There was, yeah.
It was a big crowd. And that's actually a really good sign, though. Like, you have told me every month you've gone, there's been more and more people.
A few more people.
That's a really good sign. There were people who are completely new to it. There are people who've been doing it a long time. The person sitting next to me, she's been lifestyle for however long, but took a break from the community because she said, it was like, last time I was part of this community, there was some drama, and I just didn't have time for it. And I went, fair. And so for people to be coming back in after something like that, like, that's a great sign. Like, and the vibe really was good. I did not walk out of there going, oh my God, what did we just do? I did not go out there to leave dreading. I actually was telling you as we were walking out, I was like, okay, the 17-year-old will have practice on Tuesdays. This is like, what, the fourth Tuesday of every month or whatever?
Yes.
And I was like, he has band practice on Tuesday. He will be home in time to watch his brother. I am okay with this, right? Until such time as the 12-year-old
something may change,
is more comfortable than he is right now. So, and we're working on all that. So it's like, okay, I have plans to be back. I enjoyed it enough. I'm also like, should we get there an hour early? Because I'm gonna need that wall seat. I need that seat.
Yeah.
I need that barrier. I need that protection. Those were the things that were tough, and they were out of everybody's control.
Yeah.
It was what it was. I will not say an ill word against the munch, but I will absolutely mock myself for being who I am. And it was. Now, the nice thing is it's at like a truck stop kind of thing, right?
Yes, truck stop.
And so when we
right
left
near the interstate,
the restaurant, you went to the bathroom, and I started looking at some of the things they have for sale, and I was ready to go shopping. You were like, we're leaving now. And clearly I talked more than I realized I did because, one, I was exhausted when we got to the car, and two, my throat was scratchy. Like it is after we do
this.
I was like, oh, I clearly had more conversations than I realized. But, yeah.
And I had ran away for 3 days, as we kind of talked about.
Lived your best non-monogamous life.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Someone I had been talking to online. We had the opportunity to meet and, see how we interacted together. And I ended up going to South Florida, 3 days, 2 nights.
Forgot to bring sunscreen to South Florida in July. And then was like, I got a sunburn. You did?
Yeah,
He looks very nice.
Nose is starting.
Darker.
Nose is peeling a little bit. The rest of it is starting to.
I've been aloe gelling you every day.
Yeah,
like,
and it's starting to fade into a tan now. Mm-hmm. But it was a wonderful time. Had a great time with the person I met. They are absolutely lovely. Had fantastic conversations. Spent a lot of time at the pool. While I was down there, we visited the fetish factory.
I know you were on the phone with me going, "Oh my God, this was so cool."
On the way home, I was talking to her.
I have a reason to go to South Florida.
And it was great. I didn't know what to expect. Between the Tampa Bay area and here, there have been. We've gone to adult stores and stuff, and some of them have been nice, some of them have been kind of disappointing, but Fetish Factory was just phenomenal. The people that worked there were great. Mm-hmm. Their selection of fetish gear, I was just like, oh my gosh. And even their toy area was really kind of cool. And also went to a hookah bar for the first time, and I loved it. My kind of vibe.
We should make a drinking game out of every time we say vibe, but that we might be legally liable for alcohol poisoning, so maybe not.
And it was enjoyable. It's been a long time since I've been in Fort Lauderdale, many years, and it has changed a bit.
Yeah, the last time we went down towards South Florida, we stayed on the outskirts when my aunt and uncle lived down there. We never went into South Florida proper.
Right. Most of the places there, so loud. So loud, the music's just like pounding, and you can't have a conversation. You just kind of sit across from somebody and
right. All you can do is bounce your head to the music. No, thank you.
And found this hookah bar. It was in a little mall.
Like a strip kind of thing?
Not really a strip.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's kind of like a little horseshoe-shaped thing off of the strip and had several floors to it.
Oh, like an actual shopping mall.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And walked in there because, one, it was a cigar.
That's definitely your speed.
And it was just so pleasant. I had never... smoked a hookah, I guess. Is that the correct term? I don't know. And decided to go back the next day and try it. And it was just wonderful. Had such a good time, because everything there was walkable. Basically, you kind of park your car and you try your best not to take the car to go anywhere. Had a drink and sat there with the hookah. Had some very nice mint flavored.
Of course they were mint flavored.
Right. And, gosh, probably there an hour and a half.
Wow.
And lost track of time because it was just such a comfortable place to be. The staff was magnificent, and the conversation was very nice. So, yeah, it was a good time.
You came back... Other than sunburns, sunburnt, y'all. You came back very relaxed, and I can't speak for anybody else's relationship, but if you have had this feeling, I will tell you my perspective. So I think that for some people who still feel some insecurities if their partner has other partners, I think that it's not unusual in those insecurities to worry, well, will my partner even want to come home? Are they going to miss the fun they had? Blah, blah, blah. And like you said earlier, it's a juggling thing. It's a balancing thing. You had a really good time, and you were, you told me all kinds of you were like stories about time at the pool. I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yet you were also so happy to see me again. that it's like there's a little teeny tiny part of me that's like, oh, I wish I could have had a experience like that. But also I know who I am, and I'm like, okay, no, I don't want to go do that. It's fine. I'm glad you could have that experience, but I'm glad you could go off and have these super fun experiences and still want to come home to me like that.
Yeah.
So, it's a good reminder to have, to get that it's like, yeah, you connected with that person, you had a good time there, you did interesting things, you got away for a while, like you had a good time on all the levels you wanted to have a good time.
And let's face it, in almost a year of all the times in this past year that I have gone away, it has not been for anything good.
Right. You have not gotten a fun getaway in a very long time.
No.
So it did bring up, and it's something we're working through. It's not a problem, but a realization.
Yeah.
And this goes back to, I think, both being just a submissive in general, but definitely a service submissive. Also the life admin keeper of our relationship and our home. And I pointed out to you, firmly but not combatively, because it's one of those things where for me to wish I had something does not mean I wish you didn't have it. And I said, I just want to point something out to you that I need you to recognize, and I don't think there's a solution for it. I just need it recognized. I said, yes, you had to arrange your life and your work and things in a way that you could take 3 days off and go out of town and have a good time. And you could have a good time and know that your dog is taken care of, the kids are taken care of, your wife is taken care of.
You're taken care of, yeah.
All those things, everything's still running, and you can go and you can come back. I said, and I want that for you. I said, but what I need you to understand is, can you imagine me having that freedom? Not that you wouldn't let me, not that you wouldn't encourage me, but I'm the one that goes to the doctor's appointments. I'm the one that knows the schedule. I'm the one that kept working while you were gone, because certain aspects of the business could keep going. Does that mean I should not make it happen? No, that's not what I'm saying. But the ease with which it can happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a slash thing. I don't know if it's a gender thing. I don't know. But I think many people in long-term relationships will recognize that one of you will be the partner who can do that, and one of you will be the partner who could not do it easily. What it did do is, when you came home, I was like, I want us to have adventures. And you said that too. I want us to go do stuff. We have not gone and done stuff. We are at a point in our life, it is harder, especially with the stuff that the kids are going through. Picking up and leaving is just, there's a balance to it. I'm not going to just pick up and leave just because a kid might be old enough. I'm going to make sure that whichever kid's going to struggle is going to be taken care of on some level. So those things are still works in progress. Eventually they grow up, and then we'll have more freedom. But yeah, I mean, and then, what's funny? It was with you being gone. Look, this is a bonus section that's actually bonus content. With you being gone and me, understanding where you were and what you were doing. Here's the thing I love about, I don't think you have to be non-monogamous to have these revelations and to have this safety to feel this way and to not feel shame over your feelings. But I think being open and talking about monogamy, non-monogamy, all of that helps. So even if you are firmly monogamous, having conversations like we have, I think helps. But knowing you were off with a partner, knowing that for the first time, the things I felt had nothing to do with that. In that way, like, it didn't bring up my insecurities, but it did bring up realizations for me that if we weren't non-monogamous and we hadn't had these kinds of conversations, I don't know if I could have admitted. One, which is, I miss, and I told you when you got home, we had lots of deep conversations. It was great. I miss the rush of being pursued. Now, am I ever going to pursue somebody? No. I don't know when somebody's flirting with me. You mostly have to hold up a sign and go, I'm flirting with you. And then I might still be like, are you sure though? Are you really sure? I'm that person. So I'm not pursuing anybody. I'm not going after anybody. I'm not making a first move. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not flirting. When I flirt, I don't know I'm flirting. It's that bad. But being pursued, like, to be able to admit to you, God, I do kind of miss that. Which led into a conversation we both could relate to, because I'm 42 and you are 61, and we are, even though there's a big age difference between us, we are definitely at the point in life where we feel invisible. As a 42-year-old chubby mom with gray hair, which will not be gray for long, I know eyes skim past me. I can feel it now in a way that's slightly different from just being a chubby woman whose people's eyes skim over you. Like, it's a different feeling. I think people around my age might understand. And I was like, I miss that. And I'm okay with being invisible. I'm nervous. I'm anxious. Don't perceive me. It's fine. But also the chase is kind of, when it's mutual and it's wanted,
sure.
right? And it's not creepy. Yeah. It's like, I miss that. And to be able to say to you, and know I could say to you with no judgment, fuck, I miss that. And at the same time, we're having that conversation. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I want to be non-monogamous in theory. Look, I recognize I am capital A, capital L, a lot, registered trademark. I don't think I'm going to have another partner, but the fact that I'm open to it, I'm able to discuss it with you.
Right.
Was, I mean, I always knew I could, but I felt more freedom. Because you had just had this experience, and here we are, and you're sharing your experience with me, and I'm listening, and I'm not envious of what you did. I was just like, I would like my own version of that, whatever that looks like, right? But at the same time, I was like, we are not doing enough together. No. We are not connecting enough. We are not using the fact that we have a life of freedom.
And I even said that to you. We have become so invested in the work that we do and you know, the things that we do to take care of the house. And, you know, we don't step back from that enough.
No, we don't. Part of it is COVID fucked us up.
Yes.
I mean, it fucked everybody. It fucked the world up, right? Even the non-believers, whether they don't believe or not, your life still was a little for a while, right? Your mental health was really affected by that because
Big time.
You are not a strict introvert like I am. I'm a person who's like, I'm happy in one specific corner of my house. You're like, I need to be where the people are.
I enjoy being around people to a certain extent. Okay. I enjoy to go out in life. I enjoy to be around people.
I watched him flit like the social butterfly he is last night.
You know, but I like to have my space to come back and retreat to.
You're the classical ambivert, which is just a combination of the two, extrovert, introvert. So that messed with you. And then while the plague is messing with you, and I'm like feeling guilty for living my best life inside my fucking house, where 6 feet away from every damn body, like just thriving on some levels.
Yeah.
Things just start happening. We hit this period of life. The down period is what I call it. And life ebbs and flows. I think we all know that. Yeah. It's cyclical. We had a good run at the top. We were riding high, and then universe went, I would like to humble you. I'd like to see what you're actually made of. So everything just like dominoes, just one thing went wrong, then the next, then the next, then the next. And it's been over a year of just a lot. And so, of course, we focused on the hard stuff because that's kind of what you do, and the things that could be fixed and the things that couldn't be fixed, the getting through them and the just sitting in it. Like you said, for the first time in months and months and months, you went away for multiple days, and it was for a good reason. Because even though the time period really was very short, in a very short amount of period, you were never home, but it was for like the worst reason possible.
Right.
So life is still life. Like some things are better, some things are the same as they have been for 6 months. But we are coming out of another side of something. Not the chaos of life that never stops. Not the trials and tribulations, not all of them. But we're on the other side of something. One, we're still strong as we ever were. Probably stronger because we've had, over the course of more than a year, but definitely the past year, some deep, hard conversations.
Correct.
I think not that we weren't mature before. You were 60, I was 41. Like, come on. We're mature. But I feel like the relationship maybe has matured even more.
True. Absolutely.
And so here we are on this side, and I'm not a starry-eyed 21-year-old anymore who thinks that just because I have a thought that tomorrow it's going to happen. Like, that's the eternal optimist I talk about. No. The tired 42-year-old ass woman's like, no, it's going to happen in like 5 years when I forgot about this. But at least we'll call that manifesting if we want. But I can be open with it, and I can say to you, I want this thing. I'd like this thing. I don't think it'll necessarily happen. I'm not going to do what's required to make it happen, or we know me. but I can at least admit that it's a thing I want without shame. We can look at our relationship and go, you had a good thing without me, and I'm happy for you, but also let's figure out our own good thing together.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'll say it for non-monogamy, for my non-monogamous ass, that's growth. Because early days of us figuring this out and me watching you be non-monogamous, while it's still definitely theoretical for me, it always bubbled up my own insecurities about not being enough. And so I would absolutely have thoughts of, well, you can do that with that person. Why can't you do that with me? Which you could if I had wanted that thing, right? Like, you could. It's possible. But I saw it as a scarcity thing, not as a, wait, let me just, like, speak up about what the fuck I need. And let's figure out how we make that happen together, regardless of what you're doing with somebody else. And this time it's like, I missed you. It was hard. Ooh, did I struggle the first night I realized he was not calling me? Yeah, I did. We've been together almost a decade, and there hasn't been a night we've been separated other than with other relationships and other partners. You have not called me.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm not going to lie. I'm fine. It's good. But I had to go through that. But that forced, it was funny. That was the surface level. My daddy's not calling me and this makes me sad. Previous versions of me would have said that was the cause of my bad feelings and my problems. And that was the thing that had to be fixed. Like, that was the problem. Tired me, tired, chubby, mom, gray-haired me is like, no. This is a symptom. This is a thing that sucks. But man, your reaction's kind of big. You know his ass is coming home to you. What's really going on? I wish the thought was that clear. It was not. It's retrospect that I know that's what I went through. And that's when I started digging deep. I started digging deep into my own fears, sadness, whatever, about not being desirable ever or anymore. Look, I got like many kids, I was definitely bullied. Like, we've been there, right? That's still stuck in my head. But then the rejections from previous partners. Now, never mind. The man of my goddamn dreams says to me on a near daily basis that he finds me beautiful, attractive, sexy, hot, whatever, pick a word, any word, he says it. My old crazy mind's like, I don't feel desirable to total strangers who don't actually matter. And that's the problem. But that forced me to dig deep into what I was actually missing, what I'm actually feeling, what is missing for us, what is missing for me.
Right.
And because of all the work, all these years that's gone into the relationship, and the work I've done on myself, and the work you do on yourself, you could come back and we could go, I could be like, tell me about your trip. Yay. Okay, let me tell you what's on my mind. And those would be completely separate things, although one was the catalyst for the other.
Yeah.
Growth. I'm exhausted, but growth. Also, I know a lot of people are like, go queen for gray hair. I fucking hate this gray hair. It's going away. Because I was not fast enough on my scheduling, I couldn't get in for last Saturday's open appointment. Got a Friday appointment. If I love it, y'all will be so tired of me sharing pictures of it. If I am insecure about it, you will not see it until the next live stream after I dye my hair. But I'm supportive of anybody who wants gray hair. I think gray hair looks beautiful or sexy or distinguished, or pick a word based on the person you're looking at. Yes, I look in the mirror and I'm like, no, I hate this. I hate everything about this. This has to go. And knowing that I'm going to be dyeing my hair in the way I like, which is at a salon by a professional who knows what the fuck they're doing and not me doing it, feels like another moment of the difficult stuff of the past year is not over, but it's not the other side of a mountain, but it's like, I don't know what metaphor or allegory or simile to use, but that.
All right. So we should probably.
I know.
It's been 2 hours now.
I just want to go on record. Last week when I was like, people say they want us to go longer, but I just don't know. Several people were like, we really do want you to go longer. Okay, but we do have to stop at a certain point.
We went longer. Yeah.
And we know people have lives to live and things to do, so we respect that too. But yeah, the bonus section was actual bonus Power Exchange
Yeah.
content. Wow, for once.
Right?
316 episodes later, we found out. So, oh, and Jennifer, I'll answer your question real quick. Is it selfish to be like, hey, I get that you're with that person, but can you send me a text before it? He did send me text before bed. He didn't stop that. He didn't
No.
ignore me. It's just the rhythm of what we usually do for us was not appropriate for what he was doing. I was not inserting myself in that trip that had nothing to do with me. If he had never talked to me the whole time, that would have been a problem.
No,
I'm
no,
like, look, all right, were you kidding me?
I said good morning to her.
Yes,
I said
absolutely.
good night.
Absolutely.
You know, if there was something that she texted me that needed my attention,
Right. I was never ignored.
I absolutely
I
responded.
just didn't get the full level of what I, as this daddy dom's baby girl in a 24/7 DS relationship, would normally get. And that's okay. And I think if it's not okay for somebody else, that's fine. But it was not, I did not miss something. I did not lose out on anything. I had to sit with hard feelings, and sometimes that's what you need to do. Because why was it so hard? It was just unusual. It was just out of our comfort zone. It wasn't that he wasn't coming home to me. It wasn't that he didn't still love me. It was his time and attention needed to be on the person he was with. And I wanted that. In the day, the light of day, I'd have been like, of course I want that. At night when I'm alone with all of my insecurities, I was like, oh, I miss my daddy right now. But it led to some good revelations.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Take care, Silent Wing.
So we're going to go.
Yeah.
These are the kinds of things I could talk about a lot, but we don't have a lot of this that comes up, so sorry. Yeah. So we're going to actually go. I'm going to finally stop talking. My throat hurts again, second day in a row, just saying. I love you, by the way. I love y'all too, but I'm really talking JB, sorry. I love you.
I love you too, baby girl.
I do love y'all out there, don't worry.
I love y'all
I
too.
just happen to love him more.
It's not a contest.
It can be. I really think it can be. It really can be. In this one moment, it can be.
All right, we got to go.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining with us, you know, for this. And to those who hung through to the bitter end on this one,
Y'all are the heroes.
Gotta
of this
love you.
one.
You know, it's been a long one. We haven't done a long one like this in quite a while.
Not on a Wednesday. On
Yeah,
Fridays.
On
the
Fridays,
we do.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. But I mean, just for a regular, you know, podcast live stream.
Yeah.
So, you know, thanks. Always happy to have you join us, and you know, while we're doing the live stream, the interaction with everybody is fantastic. So thank you all.
Yes. We're going to go now.
Bye.
Bye.